So here we go. So we've trued our tires. As you can see, they look nice. See the difference in, turn on the light here again. See the difference in where they were in the other video, how rough they were. This is pieces of urethane. I had to clean it more with alcohol, but pretty much it. That's, you want to get them nice and smooth. And again, don't worry about those. That's where you made the holes for the tires, but that'll do fine. And what we're gonna do is get our guide flag, and that's when we're gonna see how our adjustment is when we get our guide on there. So put that on, and so you can spin that. Just still it's touching. No, barely. So what I'll do is I'll get one of my guide spacers. There's different sizes. This is, I think this is 10,000ths. Can't remember which one these are. And then they have ones that are thinner, you know, 4,000s, 3,000s. But we're gonna try this one here, and I would get a bunch of assorted sets of sizes, so this way you could kind of, you know, guide yourself here. You can see that. Let me tighten that up and see where we go from here also. I'm gonna put this on, and then we'll kind of get an idea where we're at. And I'll tighten it up if I can. Hold on a second here. I'm sorry I'm off camera again. I'm trying to get this lined up so we don't cross thread it or anything. I'm sorry about that. There you go. I'm trying to tighten it up here. I'm doing it with kind of on my lap. Kind of hard to get to in front of the camera. A little tight there, so loosen it up. That's a little bit too loose. Let's give it a little bit more. And nice and decent there. That's a little bit tighter. Not bad. So we'll put it on our block. We'll see where we sit. And that's not bad. See how we're kind of barely touching. Let's see what it looks like from the front. And there you go. Somewhat. I could still spin it, you know, without it like sitting on where you can't move it. So that's not bad. So we'll go with that. And I like that. That's not bad. See, just touching it with some resistance, but just you could, you know, feel it. You'd feel a little drag there, as you could see. So we'll do that and go with that, and then we'll put our leads on. And our leads will be like this. And what I'll do is I'll make a loop like so. So basically what I'm doing is I'll put it in this one and loop it like that. Put it in the other one and loop it like, make it like a bow so that it'll return the guide when it, you know, back to center, and that's what you want. And stripping and soldering wires is not real hard to do. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to strip it, and I'll do it with this one, just like so. And what you are going to do is you're going to pre-tin these wires. Pre-tinning the wires is important. It'll save you a lot of headache. So you get your just regular paste flux and your solder, rosin solder. And you're going to get my soldering iron here in a minute. Get my iron ready, which will be right here. Get some water on the sponge. Excuse me while I'm off camera again. Trying to do this a little quicker so you guys could not see me waste time with nothing going on in front of the camera. Turn my iron on. She'll fire up when it's ready. We'll get this right here, and we'll strip this wire just a little bit. Oops. A little bit crazy there. Here we go. Like that. What I usually do is just put flux on it like that. Just dab it with flux. And dab this with flux. Then what I'm going to do is I'll have my solder right there. My iron's ready. Heat my iron a little. What I'll do is I'll get some solder, and then what I'll do is I'm gonna, as you can see here, I'm gonna tin it, just like that. I just tin that wire, so it's easier to apply onto the, you know, the lead and everything in your motor leads as well. And that's that part. On the, so that's gonna be the motor end wires. You can make them a little longer. I kind of made them a little short. So on the lead wires, I'm gonna make them just a little bit longer. So I like that. That's what I'm gonna do. That one's a little bit longer. Do the same with the other end, and like so. And you just want to make them long enough so that you could put them on the surface here. Is what you're doing. If you can see that, like that. You could angle them certain ways. I like to angle it like about there. For me, is preferably is fine, and that's good. And then what I'll do is make sure these are twisted too. You don't want them frayed, so you could just kind of make sure they're twisted, because sometimes they'll get all moved around when you put flux on them. It may spread the wires, the little tiny wires. And then again, I'm going to get my iron. And I'm going to pre-tin these two. Same here. And they're pre-tinned right there, so it'll make it easier for you to put them on the clips there. So my positive will be on my left, and the negative will be on my right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this through here, actually through here, this side. And oh, wait a minute, let me see, hold on a second, I'm trying to think here. I think I want to go this side, I'm sorry, opposite right side of the car, as you'd say, passenger side. I can get that booger in there. And I want to go over the bracket here. I hope I made these long enough. I made them too short, and that's what it looks. Well, let's see. Let's pull this up. I think I may have done them the right length. So what I'm going to do is, there's where you're gonna. Actually, your positives over here. Excuse me. I made them too short. Oh, yep. Looks like I did. Shame on me. So, see, this is the problems you run into. So, what we want to do is make this longer, and I could save this for a 1/32 scale car. So, lesson learned there. You know, you trial and error, like I said. I didn't make it long enough. So, what I'll do is I'll get. See, you can see my mistakes on camera. Nobody's perfect. Shoot, I sure as hell don't know everything. So what I'll do is I'll grab this. At least you see the tinning process, and I'll make this a little longer. So I'll save these wires for 1/32 build, which will be a shorter chassis, obviously. And what I'll do is I'll make it that long. I'll get my cutters. No big deal. Cut those down. Get a negative black wire. Make them the same length. Give me a moment here. I should have checked that before I did it. So, hey guys, lesson learned, you know, check your stuff. So I will do this again. Let me see, just to make sure I could put them in here just to see what they look like without cutting them up or soldering them yet. So, as I didn't anticipate that this, see right there, I needed more length because it wouldn't reach the motor. And that right there is perfect. That should be good. That should be enough. Let me double check. Yeah. That should be plenty right there. And then you can just make the slack up. Alright, so what we'll do again, we'll tin these wires. Save these for a 1/32 build. So you could save your wires. I mean, I could still use that on smaller cars, so it's already ready to go and everything. That's my iron screaming, hey, you left me on too long, so let me shut it off because it doesn't take long to start it up. And I'll make this lead wire end right here, and then I'll make the shorter one. Well, I'll make them the same length, so if I can. And I'm going to get the other one, do the same thing. And cut the other ones. I made that a little longer, but that's okay. So, you pre-tin these again. Turn on the iron. We'll do the pre-tinning again. Put a little butter on there. I'll do the same thing with this one. And the iron. Get solder. And tin that one. Tin this one. Go to the other side of the wires. Put flux on them. Do the same with this one. See right there. Just like that. Get some more solder. Tin them. Same here. Tin them. And those are tin. So ready to go. So what I'll do is I'll turn the iron off for now. I'll need it on so I can make sure these work like they should. So get my check this out. Okay, that should be fine. Shouldn't be too bad. So I'll get my lead wire for the left side, or for the positive. That. Solid flux off me. And what I'll do is I'll do this. Just like that. I'm going to go at that angle. I'll get some flux. Like that. So everything flows. Put more flux, the better it'll flow too. So I mean, don't be afraid to use it. What I'll do is I'm going to make it at that angle. It should be a good angle for... turn the iron back on. Same thing, right? I want an angle to where it's going to be make kind of a loop, so it'll return at the center. So now I got my irons all set. Let me go off the tip again. I hope you can see this. Solder, and then I'm going to do this. Just like that. I may have been a little bit too much. I may have been a little excessive, but that's okay. That was a little bit too much solder. So there's that side right there on the left side, and the positives right here on your motor. Then I'm going to do the right side, negative side. I'll slip it through. Excuse me. Get this here. Slip it through here. So this is why I make the little tubes, so they kind of are like give us like keep them neat and out of the way so I don't get caught on anything. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it's just kind of a nice thing to have. And then I'll stretch this out. I'll put the same angle as the other one. Excuse me, I'm having difficulty here. So I want I'll get the flux. Damn, being stubborn. Right there. Pull this out a little too much. There we go. Man, this one's being tough. Be like that. I'll get my solder. I'll get a little bit this time, not as much as I did in the other one. And I don't know if you can see that. That's a little bit better. That was not as excessive as you can see. I really went too wild on this here. So that's okay. I mean, it's not going to kill it. But that's just a lesson learned. You have to go that much. Now we have our leads on. Let me loosen that up because that's... hold on a second. Here we go. Just going to pull these a little snug, and we want to get that up. See how that's getting caught there because that's too long. So we'll pull it and shorten it. And that's what we're looking at right there. Gosh, I'm sorry, I'm off camera. We want it to return the center like that. That's basically it. So if it comes deslotted, it's not stuck like this, and they can grab the car and put it back on the slot. Or, you know, if it's in a little race, you're racing around, somebody has to turn it over and go like this. It's just to return it to center, and that's what you want. And that's that part right there. And then what we'll do is we'll put solder on. We'll solder the motor. The wire leads to the motor. And it's not hard to do. You just get a little flux. And soldering iron. A little bit. I don't need that much. You know, watch yourself when you do it. Don't get your tires. Just like that. And then we'll do the negative. These are a little bit longer than usual, but that's okay on this. So go on this side. You could go on the underside or the the top of it. It's up to you how you want to solder it on. You could solder it from underneath here or on the top. I'm doing it on the top, so I'm getting a little difficult time lining it up. Get a little solder, or a little flux, excuse me. And like so. Hope you can see me doing this. Doing this like that. And that is on. So there you go. Got these on, and you could adjust these right here if you need to pull out more or pull in. Like that. That's pretty good. It was getting caught over here, but now it's out of the way and it's fine. And you can just organize your wires here, and that's it. If you put an actual interior, you could push these down too, because sometimes actual interiors you have to cut it out when you use the actual interior of the car. I'm not doing it on this one because that interior is really goofy, and I'm not going to sit there and try and do it. So I'll just use a tray one, which a tray one is allowed as long as you have a roll bar and a driver in it for the Land Bar series. And that's the car right there. You pretty much completed it right there. It's ready to rock and roll, as a lot of people like to say. I do. Rock and roll, baby. Yep. All said and done. And then we'll clean my iron here. And what we'll do is we'll put some of these tools away. I like to put tools away so I have them all scattered all over the place. I think we don't need any more of the washers for a guide. So what I'm going to do is get my little dynamometer here, and I could do this on camera, and we can see how it runs on the first test initial run. You can put in your dynamometer. Well, let me oil. This is important. You want to oil your bushings too. Don't want to, want to do that before you start messing with it. Get that oiled up. All right, those are all oiled up. Now I left one of my leads over there when I was doing the tires, so I'm gonna walk away for a sec. Bear with me here. I'll back up the camera too so you can see that. Let me go get my lead. All right. Closet out of the way. Let's get my lead here. Back this up and tilt this up. And I'm gonna get my little power supply that I don't really use for only this, really. Get it right here next to my coffee. Use my little table. I don't have a large table, but it works for me. And I like everything in the closet right now because it keeps everything kind of not looking messy when you open the room up. So I'm gonna get my leads, plug into my power supply. I'm gonna run it at 7.5 volts just to start. So now this you can get from Slot Car Corner. It's a little dynamometer thing if you want to start your car. So what I'm going to do is, this is the first time it's going to fire up. Turn my power supply on. I'm going to put this on, and here we go. And there it is. That's the start of your car there, and we're running it. She's running and she's alive. So you know you gotta go in the right direction too. If you had it backwards, it'd shoot that way. So we're good there. We're at 7.2. Pretty good to run the motor if you want a little bit. If you want to just put a power supply lead to the motor, to the brazing, just run the motor a little, and we'll go 9 volts. Not bad, everything sounds good. Looks like spinning nice and free, the motor isn't getting hot or nothing like that, and you would know immediately that motor would start getting real hot if you have resistance in the rear axle or something's not right. So this car is pretty much, this chassis is pretty much a working chassis, working slot car until you put your body on. So 12 volts. Yep. And that's pretty much it. And that's it. That's the whole deal there. You have completed a car. Now we'll put it on the track and see how it does. And what I'm going to do is get up and take my little camera here. And I'm going to try it on the track. And we're going to shut my closet door and we're going to go onto the, excuse me, to the track. Make sure we're on analog mode, so I know my grandkids like playing with it. We'll turn on my power supply. Turn on the track. And the track is on. Let's turn on some lights and get some little mood going here. Turn on all of Area 51 Raceways. Fun stuff. And now when you're running on a plastic track, remember there's always ups and downs on the track, not completely flat. So I mean, some areas it may touch, as you can see I'm doing it, and some areas it doesn't. But we're going to see how the car handles. So I'm going to grab my controller, and this is the maiden voyage of this car. Here we go. Oh, I already have an incident there. Why it popped off, I don't know. We may need to make more adjustments. We'll have to see. But that's part of, you know, doing slot car stuff, is sometimes you have to do adjustments to get things to work. So get this out of the way, and get the car that just toppled over real easily, which kind of weird that it did that. You'll have to see. It just did that on its own to do it on its own. But come around the table. I'll fire it up again. Not too bad. Yeah, it's got a little. Oh, hit that little barrel there. Hey, it went back on, see? I don't know, I don't remember what voltage I have this at right now. It could be a little over 12 right now, but okay, came off right there. So we may need to make a guide adjustment, it all depends. But I don't, you know, I have to keep messing with it, and that's how you tune these cars, you know, as you go. Whoa. Heard something fly off there. There was anything on the car, but I did hear a piece of something. That could have been a piece of that was a little rock. I have tiny rocks on here. I know I shouldn't do that, but that's part of my landscape. I just keep an eye on that. That sometimes that happens. Maybe what I may also need to do is clean the tires a little bit more with a lint roller. As you can see how that did that right there. How it just kept. It's actually adjusted pretty good right there. That's a dead spot. You see how the tire keeps moving around after you're done. Let's see if I'll show it right here. See how that kept spinning like that? That's actually good right there where you want it, at least for my track. And for a wood track, it should work good. I think the tires are just a little bit dirty, so if you mind me, I'm gonna get my lint roller and kind of clean up my tire surface, because see, it is dirty and it's probably picking up stuff from the track itself. I'm gonna do that. You can see how that dirty it gets, and usually we don't see all the dirt in there. That's probably right. So what I'll do also is I'll coat these with floor shine, the front wheels, front tires, because you want no grip on the front tires. You want the front end to float. You don't want it to grip. That's what will cause the car to come off too. So again, this is, you know, all brand new here. So again, we're just trial and error. Here we go again. Kind of hard to hold the camera and drive too. It's kind of like holding a beer and driving. You're not supposed to do that. What has a little better is we clean the tires, see? Oh, came up right there. So, see, this is why you have the guy to go back to center, because you could pick it up, and if it comes off, you just put it right back on. Ooh, too much. So, back on. Yeah, not bad. See now, these tires are somewhat touching on this surface. You may need to adjust the guide up just a little bit higher, maybe just a little bit. I think I should. So you see, it's kind of, you know. But again, this is a plastic track, so it's not like a wood track. So there are like, see, like in this, yeah, we're gonna have to put. See, there's a high spot here, and you can see how it doesn't. Yeah, so probably another like 4 thousandths, and just pick it up a little. I don't want to do it too much. So that's it. That's it for the video, and that's it for your car. I'll do a video on mounting the body when I get it painted. That's going to take time, but this is basically a finished car. So that's basically how you just, from start to finish, when you build these cars. Nothing to it, very easy. I hope you enjoyed the series of videos that I've done. I know they ain't perfect. I'm not a studio type person, but it is what it is, and I do what I can. And if you have any questions or any comments, please do, and appreciate it. Thanks again, and have fun racing.